Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. I'm sitting here in my backyard. Ben is about 7 feet away from me, maybe 8 feet away from me with a mask on because I have symptoms of what we think it could be a cold. I have a scratchy throat. I have some sniffles. I'm a little tired. I'm not that tired, though. I'm not that tired. So tomorrow we're going to get rapid tests to see what the deal is. And I imagine I'm fine. I have no fever. I have no chills. I have no body aches. I have no, whatever else that you could have with this. Headaches, shortness of breath. I have the symptoms that I've had after every night of smoking too many cigarettes. I've had scratchy throat, a little congestion of the nose, pretty much the same symptoms I've had. That being said, we don't know. I thought I had COVID in March because I was very sick for about 3 weeks. Seriously sick for like a week. And then getting my strength back took 2 to 3 weeks. I'd never really been that sick. I imagined that was COVID. I'd been coming back. I came back from Vancouver on a flight, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. That morning when I woke up, I'm like, motherfucker. I went to an urgent care in Hollywood. I said to the lady, I'm like, I am fucked up. She's like, I'm like, should I go get tested for COVID? This is when they were telling nobody to get tested. They didn't have tests. She was like, yeah. She's like, you look fine. I'm like, yeah, I feel bad. She's like, you look fine. You look too healthy to have COVID. I'm like, I don't know. I have every symptom. She's like, hey, man, get out of here. That's pretty much what she said. She's like, you look fine. I'm like, okay. She's like, just go home. She goes, go home, drink fluids. She did a strep swab. She goes, you have strep. She goes, looks like it's positive for strep, which I'm sure I might have had. But Rudy Gobert, a few other of those basketball players that tested positive for COVID around that same time also had strep. So I guess it was a common co-infection. Or if your immune system's run down, you get two things, right? But I remember I was outside of Earth Cafe in West Hollywood. I ordered the Flax Master smoothie, which is like some berry smoothie that tastes like a cookie. And I was sitting outside of Earth Cafe feeling nauseous. I was like, dude, I feel worse than I've ever felt. I don't feel like that at all right now. I actually feel pretty good, except for a little nasal tract issue. So my friend Michelle, who's been on the show before, is trying to FedEx me hydroxychloroquine, which she's going to now just start taking as like prophylactic or whatever, take it once a week. And she said if you get it early enough with the hydroxy, could be great. I think Whitney might have some hydroxychloroquine too. I'm not sure.
I believe she does, yeah.
Yeah, she probably does. Sometimes it's good to know people with a lot of money. Always. It's always good to know people with a lot of money. But during a pandemic where people are stockpiling drugs, that's a real good time. Stashing. Because now the doctors, I don't think, will give you hydroxychloroquine.
Oh, really?
I don't even know if they'll give it to you. I think some of them will. Some of them won't. It's become like a political football where... But I've spoken to doctors that say, hey, it works. Like hydroxychloroquine literally works. And it may not work for everybody, but if you get it early enough with the hydroxychloroquine, you're good.
Gotcha.
So who knows what the fuck we're dealing with here. But we're trying to be safe for Ben, Because if Ben gets sick, this whole show is fucked. You can replace me, but not, him. We're trying to be careful. We're being as careful as we can. We went to New York. Could have gotten it there. Could have gotten it by touching a fucking, debit card when you enter your PIN number on one of those PIN pads. I mean, you touch your hair, you get it. My godfather's parents came over. Supposedly they're 10 days out. They're okay. Who the fuck knows if they, were transmissible or not? I don't know. But I imagine I'm going to get a negative reading tomorrow, and we'll go from there. But I might not. They might say it's detected. And if it's detected, I will go to a doctor immediately, and I will try to get a prescription for OxyContin or Percocet or one of the drugs that I believe will fight it for me. You understand? Because everybody has a different constitution. Everybody needs different things. I believe my body will respond most positively to a Percocet, to a nice big bottle of Percadoodles. Because even if you have coronavirus, you want to have a little fun and you want to take the edge off. And I think an opiate might just take the edge off. Not for too long, but a little bit, a few days. But I'm hoping I don't. What do you think? What is your opinion? How do you come down on this issue? Corona or not corona?
I'm going to say it's a negative because I think you felt this way 12 days ago too, right?
I
and then
feel
we
this
got
way.
tested, it was negative.
I feel this way all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got the test in Palm Springs because you had smoked cigarettes, because you
Yeah.
went 10 days without cigs, you smoked a bunch, and then your throat was scratchy.
You should take your mask off to speak now because you're not anywhere near me.
That's true.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what happened in Palm Springs.
Yeah. So we went through this 2 weeks ago, I'm pretty sure.
Right. But who knows?
I don't know. We know a lot of people who have it, and there's really no symptoms now. So
Right.
I could have it right now, and you might not, you know?
It's a very good point.
But I'm saying negative tomorrow. I believe you will have a negative test tomorrow.
I'm hoping I have a negative test.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, we know so many people, dude, that have it. Not only total absence of symptoms, but total absence of talent. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Just no talent detected
Yeah.
in many of the people we know that have it. I mean, just negative. The test comes back negative for talent. Vic Berger angry at me again in the saga of Tim Dillon and Vic Berger. Another chapter that no one cares about. The feud that no one asked for and no one wanted rolls on because Vic Berger's wife is apparently a teacher, and I made a flippant remark about teachers on my Twitter. And Vic Berger, of course, has made me into the American alt-right Nazi comedian.
Right.
My act, any of you have seen me live, my act is really alt-right, isn't it? My joke about Pizza Hut, it's really alt-right. It's really about racial homogeny. My joke about Pizza Hut. What would an alt-right comedian even do? Get out there and start talking about Norse gods and fucking, the homeland and, racial purity? I mean, what, like a really alt-right comedian, when you think about it. Like, it's hilarious to imagine, like, an alt-right, like a full-on, just gets out and tries to do jokes. That would be, if you succeeded as that in a diverse comedy club, it means your skill set's out of control.
Yeah.
If you were able to get on stage at a comedy club where the audience is mixed in every, possible way, and you got on stage and started talking about the Jews and European history and somehow killed, if you slayed with that act, you'd have to be like, man, I don't agree with this guy, but that's a comedian. That guy just got out here. Nobody wanted to hear any of that. And, dude, it just killed. Now, I don't believe that would ever happen. But it's just funny, like, when people are like, alt-right comedian. He's made me into this thing that I'm not. And I think it's because Rogan is off Twitter. I'm not Twitter, but he's off YouTube. So when my Candace episode happened, I'm nowhere near as big as Joe. But people are like, all right, we got to get mad at something. We gotta. It's Sunday. We gotta get angry. And I was the guy. I was the episode where people are like, oh, Tim Dillon had Candace Owens on. Right. Let's just vent about that. And I go back at these people. I shouldn't. I go back at them. All these socialists, these leftists, hilarious. Like, they're critique of me. They're like, dude, your video quality sucks and you're not famous. I'm like, okay, so you're saying I don't have money and I'm not famous. Like, the production quality isn't Game of Thrones.
Right.
And also I'm not famous. What an odd value system you all have. Then they call me like an open micer. Like, let's say these things were accurate. Wouldn't that endear me to you people?
Sure.
Aren't you supposed to respect the struggling artist without the money to hire a camera crew? Isn't that what you guys are all about? It's hilarious. When you look at these people, they have the hammer and sickle in their Twitter profile, and their critique of you is like, yeah, you're fucking poor. I'm like, what? Yeah, you're poor and you're not famous. Okay. What? That's odd. And I go back at them, and I shouldn't. I shouldn't. but I don't have self-control. That's the problem. I do not have any self-control. So when I see somebody like Vic Berger's wife's a teacher and he's mad at that and he's like, whoa, it's what a brave, edgy take. I'm like, no one's saying it's brave. No one's saying it's edgy. It's funny or offensive or whatever. There's nuggets of truth in it. Teachers are worshipped. They're not underpaid. For the most part, they're just not. In most places, they're not. In some places, they might be. But in a lot of places, they're not. If I had said something about the cops, it would have been great.
Right.
In my Netflix special, I talk about trans Navy SEALs, and I say the whole joke is like that the kid that was growing up was like, if I'm certain of one thing, it's that I'm a killer. I call the troops killers. Like,
right.
And I don't, by the way, there's not too many, and I'm not saying I'm some like revolutionary guy, but there's not too many people that I've heard where they're like actually criticizing the military on stage in that way, in a funny way. I'm not saying it's, but like this idea that, that I'm like some edgelord alt-right comedian is not true, and it's only because I sat down with Alex Jones.
And Rogan, too.
And Rogan,
they
of course.
think he's a neo-Nazi as well, so.
Yeah, and then when Legionist Gangs had Milo on, I'm like, who gives a fuck, The only reason I wouldn't have Milo on is not because he's too edgy. I just have no interest. I have just no interest,
It's boring, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, who cares? It's not like I'm not, like, better than, or, like, afraid. I just don't care. I don't care. Candace was fun because she was, like, a running joke on the show, and then, she's this massive figure in this very polarizing movement of black conservatism, which isn't covered at all. So these guys like Coleman Hughes and John McWhorter, and there's a bunch of others. I'm forgetting their names. They look very similar. They look alike. But that's a joke. But they actually don't look alike. Glenn Lowry is one of them. I believe it's Glenn Lowry. Yeah, Glenn Lowry and Coleman Hughes and John McWhorter. These guys who are black conservatives are not covered at all. Candace sucks all the air out of the room. And it's one of the most interesting conversations, whatever side you fall on it, that's happening right now in the public space. So we had her on. Now, obviously, the critique is, well, you should have had one of them on. Right. But Candace has become the lightning rod to symbolize that. So we had her on, But I don't really have an interest. And then people, like, oh, are you going to do that now? Are you going to be the guy that has, and the only reason I'm having a cigarette now is I've read articles saying that kills the virus.
Yes.
And it actually helps. I'm not even kidding. That it like reduces the amount of, I don't know.
The woman we talked to who tested us last said it might like incinerate the virus in your lungs. She said that word for word.
Yeah, I mean, she's a retard. But then there's actually other people that have written things in a scholarly way. That's a dumbass. It burns the virus in the back of your throat if you light up a Marby light. It burns the virus. You want to burn a virus? You know what works? Crack. My husband made a good point. He said every time he hits me, it's actually, he's trying to beat the virus out of my face. Yeah, that woman wasn't exactly, It's great all the people they send you to your house to test you for this, or they get stupider and stupider. They're going to send someone with Down syndrome to give you a test soon. Hey, they're going to walk in, literally, developmentally, they're going to have Down syndrome, and they're going to stuff a fucking Q-tip up your nose and then point to a line on a chart and go, negative, and then leave. That's next. Next is people with Down syndrome come in your house to test you for coronavirus. There's absolutely no way that doesn't happen. But I'm not going back and Vic anymore. I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to ignore all of it. If I have COVID, we can't do the live stream. If I don't, we're going to do the live stream. Here's why. I'm going to tell everyone on the Patreon this. Here's why we cannot do it on YouTube. This is a fact. We cannot bring our guest that we're going to have on YouTube. Is that correct?
Correct.
Correct. Now, you might be saying, well, what guest is that? And that would make you stupid. You see? That would make you someone who's not bright. If you say, well, what guest couldn't come on YouTube? Well, there's a few options, but really one, right? Mm-hmm. There's like only one guy that can't come on YouTube that's going to Skype into the New Year's live stream from his home in Texas. And we cannot have this person on YouTube, so we said we got to do a paid event. I mean, there's no other way to do it. We got to spend money. We got to do all this shit. And I get it. If times are fucking tough and it's like, hey, I don't want to do it. We're going to do other ones. There's a lot of free stuff out there for you to watch, but we can't do the show we want to do on YouTube. We can't even play any clips of anything on YouTube. And I don't even know what we can say anymore. How we can't get crazy on a live stream on YouTube.
Changes day by day with YouTube. It's always new restrictions rolling in. They flip-flop on stuff.
And if we're going to do a 3-hour live stream, and Ray's going to fly from New York to LA, we got to make it balls to the wall crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to do, I'm talking about there's going to be, I want to do a sing-along with me, Ray, and our guests.
Absolutely.
Because I think he'd have a good voice, like a bellowing. I want to sing Old Lang Syne.
Old Lang Syne.
With our guest. Mystery guest from Texas that can't be on YouTube. All right. I'll tell you who it is. Are you ready? It's Tony Hinchcliffe. I told you it was worth it. It's Brian Redband. Hey, did I lie? Did I say it was worth the money or not? It's Brian Redband. Brian Redband for 3 hours. Get ready. No, I'm not going to tell you who it is. I don't want to share the info with you and start a war. I don't want to share this info and start a war.
Yeah.
You get it? I don't want to share this info and start a war. So, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
Also, if I have COVID tomorrow, if they come to me and say you've detected positive for COVID, I'm taking vitamin D, vitamin C, I'm taking zinc, I'm taking quercetin, and I'm doing that twice a day. I've got Mega Zinc, which is 100 milligram. So I'm only taking that once a day, but I guess I should be going up to twice a day on the zinc. But I'm taking those vitamins, baby. I'm taking those vitamins. Daddy's taking the minerals. The pig will not be sidelined with the China flu. I just will not allow it to happen. I will not allow it to happen. Pig will broadcast through coronavirus. We will do what restaurants did. We will put up glass partitions.
Uh-huh.
I will put Ben in a box.
Yep.
I don't care. I mean, I will power through. If I have this, there will be no interruption in the content. There will be no interruption in the content. I feel very much like President Trump. I'm not going anywhere. I feel very much like our leader, who said, did you see? He vetoed the bill, and then at the end, he goes, and if you don't figure it out, the next administration will, and it might be me. Did you see it?
I saw you just retweeted the clip of him saying it.
Dude, at the end of the clip, he goes, if you don't figure it out, the next administration will, and that might be me.
That's incredible.
He did it right at the end, and I'm like, did I even hear that right?
Like the last 30 seconds? Let me play this.
Dude, play the last 30 seconds. Because, by the way, if you are watching this like a show, that is the point where right after that it goes, executive producer. Like, it goes to the black screen. We're talking old 90s TV. Mm-hmm. Black screen, executive producer Stephen Bochco, executive producer Dick Wolf, whoever. Boom. And then you're like, fuck. Or it's executive producer Aaron Spelling. We're talking about Melrose Place. They blow up the apartment complex. We're talking about Kimberly when she had that scar. Many of you don't understand what I'm saying.
They blow up Melrose Place. Okay, let me
You've
play
never
this.
watched Melrose Place.
They don't blow up the...
They blew up the apartment complex on the show.
Oh, really?
Dude, I went to rewatch Melrose Place. It's so funny. I went to go rewatch it, and I was like, this is like the worst show ever.
Yeah.
I went to go rewatch it, and I go, this is so bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's so bad. Play the last 30.
$4,000 for a couple. I'm also asking Congress to immediately get rid of the wasteful and unnecessary items from this legislation and to send me a suitable bill, or else the next administration will have to deliver a COVID relief package, and maybe that administration will be me, and we will get it done. Thank you very much.
I heard that right?
You did, yeah.
He's like, and the next administration might be me. Da-da-dum.
Crazy.
To be continued. It's not going to be him. Like, there's no way it's him. There's no way it's him.
Yeah.
But it's just such a funny, crazy thing to say. He's right about that bill, by the way, that gives hundreds of thousands of dollars to horse shit and nothing. He wants $2,000 for an individual and $4,000 for a couple, which is fucking what it should be.
Yes.
Should be higher probably, but it's like it shouldn't be $600. I mean, $600. That's like 5 visits to IHOP if you have a family. Truly.
Yeah.
If you have a family of 4 or 5 people, you know, every entree at IHOP's like 10, 12. Yeah. You're walking out, the bill's 80.
Yeah.
It's 5 trips to IHOP. Good luck. And that's what people will use it for.
Right.
That's what people will use it. What are you going to do with 600? Start a farm? Join the organic movement? Stavros had a great tweet. He goes, yeah, I made 20 grand. I saved 20 grand. I went to a financial advisor. Like, you can't do anything with this. And there's literally like these fucking demons are tweeting out like, hey, why don't you meet with, here's what a financial advisor says you could do with $600. What? Dude, go to a financial advisor. I spoke to a business manager in LA. I showed him what we were making on a Patreon. He goes, yeah, that's not that much. I'm like, should I start investing? He's like, yeah, I don't really know. Yeah, I don't. I'm like, it's $75,000 a month. He goes, yeah, I don't know. So this idea that like with $600,
he faints.
Yeah,
he faints looking at the Patreon.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? You gonna start flipping houses? Yeah, I'm gonna flip a house with my $600 that I got from the government. I think part of it is just they got to do it with a straight face. You know, they got to go, hey, 600 is what you get. You know why they're trying to get away with this? Because there's that vaccine now. We're like one out of every 10 people that takes it jumps out of a window. Like the fucking, like when they were giving people LSD.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding about that, but there's some adverse reactions. Yeah. Pfizer came out, they're like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't take this if you have X, Y, or Z. If you have any allergic reactions to anything, which is a lot of people, they're like, yeah, this might not be for you. This might not be for you. Yeah, if you tend to respond negatively to, I don't know, a whole host of things, maybe sit this one out. But now, because of the vaccine, they're just trying to give you the 6. They go, hey, man, it's 3 months. 3 months, and then we're back in business. So that's $200 a month. That's $200 a month. Go buy an ounce of weed and flip it. I think everyone's going to be. They're pushing everyone in this country to become Walter White. Truly. We're all Walter White in Breaking Bad. Right. I mean, I'm not pretending that I am. And, you know, my friends have a lot of money, a lot of them, and I'm doing great. But there's a lot of people in this country that can't work from home, that are fucking fucked, and they're all being pushed into criminality. Mm-hmm. By the way, they're all being pushed. And then this guy Matt Walsh on Twitter is like, OnlyFans is disgusting and pornography is disgusting. And I'm like, dude, he's like, nobody'd want their daughter to be on OnlyFans. I'm like, yeah. I understand like what you're saying, what you think you're saying, but people are fucking starving. And if you can show your tits to get a fucking Egg McMuffin, maybe now is not the time to be a fucking like moralist about everything. You know, like maybe let's hold it down on OnlyFans creators and not shame them right now. I mean, let's just take it down a notch, conservatives. Let's relax. This is when conservatives just completely, and I got so much, flack on Twitter when I'm like, this is what happens when people lose. They're like, well, Joe Biden's not really a doctor. Jill Biden's a liar and these whores on OnlyFans are making money. It's like, dude, who do you think's signing up for these fucking OnlyFans accounts, by the way? Incels that voted for Trump half the time. So let's cut it out, okay? I mean, I understand the idea of like nobody wants their daughter to do porn other than Steven Spielberg, who doesn't mind. Mm. But you know that, right? Like Spielberg's daughter is just...
Yeah.
And more power to these people.
Yeah.
But I get it.
So Matt Walsh is saying he's tweeted, sex work is not real work. It's the reduction of the self into an object to be used and discarded by
This
strangers.
guy's a journalist. Crack whores have more integrity than journalists. He's a blogger. He's a political blogger. You ever choke down a milky cock for $10 on a subway, in a subway station, so you could just fill your fucking homemade crack pipe with a rock? That's not work. That's not work, but going to the Heritage Foundation and jerking off rich kids while they talk about the powers of the free market and then suck a bailout out of the fucking Federal Reserve while everybody else is on the fucking street, that's work? Going to the Bohemian Grove and dancing around and carving up fucking effigies of children and lighting owls on fire is work? But choking a hog down isn't work? I beg to differ. Stop it. This political class of nothings. You might not like the type of work it is. It's fucking, dude, sex work is work. If Matt Walsh doubts that, he could come over and fuck me. Come fuck me, Matt Walsh, and I'll pay you and tell me it ain't work. Because my symptoms ain't bad yet, and Daddy'll throw it back, Matt. I will break Matt Walsh's back with my ass. Please, someone clip that and send that to Matt Walsh and have him respond to my suggestion. And I will let him fuck me. I will not even fuck him. I will not demean him. But I will break his back with the power of my ass. And then Matt Walsh is going to have to say, he's going to get back in his car, and he's going to go, that wasn't work? Oh, I beg to differ. It was work. It might not be meaningful work. It may not be work that you're proud of, although I believe if me and Matt worked together and got on the same page, we could be proud of it. But I think that the idea that it's not work is stupid. It's fucking work. Everything's work unless you're sitting all day tweeting. That seems on the hierarchy of what is and isn't work. And then I've all these people on Twitter coming for me being like, he's right. They're whores or whatever. And I'm like, dude, you want to talk about whores? That town, D.C., is full of whores. Real whores, okay? They whore out our country. They whore out your pension plan. They whore out the future of your children. They whore out everything. You are criticizing people that fuck for money? It's stupid. It's stupid and it's ridiculous. And I've just been going off a little bit on Twitter all over the place. Left, right. I don't care. Because I'm bored. I'll be doing it. I don't care. I'll be in the hospital with Corona just on Twitter, just tweeting at Matt Walsh. Come fuck me, Matt. Come fuck me and say it's not work. Go fuck Ray Kump and say it's not work. If Matt Walsh shows up to an apartment and Ray Kump answers the door and goes, hello, listen, sit down. Here's the way I like it. I like it easy at first, but I like it rough. It's like that Tina Turner song. You know, Rolling Down the River, when she covered the Creedence Clearwater song? They go, sometimes we like to do it nice and easy, but sometimes we like it rough. That's the way I feel. So in the beginning, it's easy, and then I'm going to flip a switch, and then I like it rough. And then I hope Matt doesn't feel like it's work. You know. And then he's like, well, here's the way I know. Nobody wants their daughter on OnlyFans. I'm like, dude, people right now don't have any luxuries to, like, imagine these lives that you know, like, you know, yeah, of course nobody wants their daughter to be a prostitute. I don't know if being on OnlyFans is a prostitute, by the way. I don't think it is. I understand that there's the argument to be made that it's still, you know, you're putting, if you're good looking and you want to be on OnlyFans, it is what it is. If you pose in Playboy and you're hot, you're hot. If you get an acting job because you're good looking and you walk around all day on a show in a bathing suit or your underwear, sex sells. That's what that job is for. So yeah, obviously people are like, hey, I don't want my daughter to be a prostitute. Yeah. Does anyone want their daughter to be Matt Walsh? Who grows up, who's like, who looks at a beautiful little baby and goes, I hope they're a political blogger. I hope they sit on the sidelines and serve up hot takes all day and don't leave their fucking apartments and do no actual reporting and don't publish anything that puts them at risk, you know? These are the same people that think Edward Snowden's a fucking hack. They think Greenwald and Snowden are hacks, but they're sitting around tweeting about sex workers. Sorry if you're a teacher and you're Vic Berger's wife and then somebody tweets, they go, yeah, remember when one of your Patreon's episode was just watching a Vic Berger video? I'm like, yeah, I don't hate him.
Yes, that's
He's
the point.
decided to hate me.
Right.
I've never wanted him. He has said things about people that I'm friends with that aren't true. He said things about Joe Rogan that are completely untrue. But I don't go at him because he can say whatever he wants. I'm not fighting Rogan's battles. He doesn't need anyone to fight his battles. I'll tweet something on my own timeline about what I think people are saying that is ridiculous. I don't go at him and you fucking go at me. I don't know why you're doing that. I have more followers. My show is bigger. I'm more relevant. Just if we look at numbers, I don't know what the benefit is for him to go at me. I'm trying to imagine in his head. Does he imagine that he's going to change my mind? I'm going to have a come to Jesus moment? Or he's going to convince the people that listen to me that I am some not like people are going to be like, you're right. Vic, you're right. That he is a Nazi because he said something about teachers. There's a lot of teachers I like. I've done cocaine with teachers. In 8th grade, substitutes. One of them lived next to the Miss Florio, lived next to the crack house we would go to. They're lovely people, some of them. They're lovely people. There was a teacher in my high school, one of the theater teachers, who made out with a kid in the hallway and got fired. But he was very nice, a passionate man. I'm not saying all teachers are bad. There was a guy, Mr. Soto, who was an art teacher in our high school, who texted a really hot senior a bunch. And then he had to get fired, too. So I like teachers. They're passionate. They take risks. My friend's wife's a teacher, and every time I do something, she texted me. Every time I shit on teachers, she texted me. She goes, here we go again. I'm like, Kerry, listen. How do you have so much time to respond to a clown when all you do is work for no compensation?
Right.
All you do as a teacher is work for absolutely no financial compensation. So I would imagine you'd be so busy doing that. You know who's never responded to anything I've said? People that work at the Tyson chicken farm that all had COVID. They've never had time to sit in their Toyota Camry, drink a latte, and fire off a couple responses to me. I wonder why. I'm wondering why. They're busy. The maid came today. I had to tell her to leave. And I love this maid. I pay her extra because she's fucking great. But I'm like, dude, I can't be around you. I might have COVID. Like, I like hanging out with her. I talk to her sometimes. Like, I'd let her do her work, but for the first hour, I talk to her. I treat everybody like a human being, because I get material from people. She tells funny stories and stuff. And her husband's a gardener. They do well. It's this whole idea that everyone in this country she doesn't hate Trump. It's very interesting. Spanish maid. It's not hate Trump. Let's interview. I mean, it's and I'm not saying that we should make a huge judgment on that or extrapolate a lot of evidence from it. But she's funny to get her perspective. What do you think, right? What's your perspective, right? But so today I'm like, hey man, you just gotta go. I can't. I told her, I was like, I don't know, I have sniffles. She's like, it's okay. It's okay. I come back. I come back Thursday. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. We'll try to figure it out, Angelica. She's great, but I don't want to put anyone at risk, I also don't think I have it.
I don't think you do.
I don't think I do. I think if I had it, it's me and you sat right next to each other last night eating sushi.
Yep.
So if I have it, you might have it.
There's a chance, yeah. But there's always the people sleep in the beds together. They still don't. Yeah.
I know, and I fucked you twice. So who knows? I mean, it's very true. I don't know why certain people get it and certain people don't get it. But I make my promise to my audience. I mean, barring some horrible unforeseen thing, I'll be broadcasting. We'll be broadcasting. We just can't do the New Year's live stream because I can't bring Ray out. Because Ray will die immediately. Or he will become a Super Saiyan, I don't even watch fucking Pokemon, but
Dragon Ball Z, you mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z, whatever it is. I know that all the people on Patreon are probably like, oh, yeah, actually, dude, actually it's Dragon Ball Z. No, actually, put a gun in your mouth. Actually. Okay? Actually do that. Okay? It's not cute. It's not cute anymore to live in Brooklyn and do cocaine and play video games all the time. It's not cute. So get a fucking life or literally kill yourself. You understand me? Do it for the holidays. Do it for your family. Do it for the new year. That should be your New Year's resolution, to blow your brains out on. All right. Anyway, what am I saying? I'm not serious about any of that, but I'm saying that if Ray gets corona, what if Ray becomes the best version? What if Corona for Ray is like that movie Limitless, where the guy gets that drug that opens up his whole brain?
Yeah, Bradley Cooper. Yeah.
What if Ray gets corona, starts talking perfectly, he loses his speech impediment? He starts losing weight.
Yeah.
He's like, my name is Raymond Kump, and I'm running for president. We're like, oh my God, this guy was 400 pounds. Now he looks great. His tongue fits in his mouth again. He's amazing. But I mean, we're gonna try to have a lot of fun on the live stream, and when our mystery guest calls in, and again, I don't want to say who it is, But I'm going to ask this mystery guest, like, what do you think about 2021? There's certain people that's just funny to get a New Year's like prediction from, because number one, you wouldn't think to get a New Year's prediction from them. Number two, this person has had a very tough 2020, right? Was it 2019 when all it went down, or 2020?
2019.
Right. 2020 hasn't been great either for this person.
Yeah.
So it'd be very interesting, like, hey, how are you feeling? Are you feeling positive? How are you feeling about 2022? You know? And I'm very excited to bring Ryan Sickler on the show. And I hope you are too. What if it's Bert Kreischer?
It's just Bert Kreischer.
Dude, if it's Bert Kreischer, everyone should people should literally come and kill me. If I'm like, and now our mystery guest, Bert. People are like, dude, what? We're going up against Bert and Tom, who we respect.
Before there's 50 comments on the Patreon, it was August 2018 when it happened. So before you rattle off 90 comments.
Ben, there won't be comments. No one even knows who I'm talking about.
That's true.
No one has any clue at this point who I'm talking about, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They don't know who it is. They're completely in the dark, and that's the way I like to keep it, okay? So we're going up against Bert and Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I have one cigarette left. This is going to be my last cigarette I smoke my whole life. Do you believe me? This is my last cigarette. You're hearing me light it. It might be true. I'll be dead of corona in 2 days. Like, oh, he was right. He was honest. Why is it so hard to stop smoking? I mean, Lucy lozenges are great. They help. But why? Why is it so hard to stop smoking cigarettes?
It's so great to smoke. It's so nice.
You know what it is? I've given up so much, and I've only got a few things left, and this is one of them.
Yeah.
But that's not an excuse. That's a horrible excuse. You know? There's something about like a hardened person who just smokes. As soon as somebody puts a cigarette in their mouth, I know I have more of a chance of liking them.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
If I see like somebody outside a medical facility light up a butt, they're like, life sucks. I'm like, yeah, man. I know that I could have a conversation with that person.
Mm-hmm.
You know? If I see someone like jogging by, I don't know. It's 50-50.
Yeah.
If I see somebody like light a cigarette, I go, you know what? Me and this person may see eye to eye. You know? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I got to stop. I got to stop because I have a godson, and it feels like, by the way, let's talk about my father for a minute.
Sure.
My father's wife, her family, they have money. Let's just preface it with that. They don't have like real crazy money like Maniscalco's wife's family, right? But they have money. Her brother has fallen on some hard times. Her brother blows glass in New Orleans.
Okay.
And gets high and makes bongs and leads people on tours of New Orleans. Fun life. Well, tourism has dried up in New Orleans, and he's on tough times. So they could easily, her parents or anybody in that family could easily give him $50,000. Take a home equity line out on their house. They put a group text together. And they're liberals. They're like fiercely liberal.
Sure.
They put a group text. I'm in the group text. I'm going to read you the group text. By the way, can you imagine being this guy and having your business on a group text with people that you barely know? I've never met him. Okay? Can you imagine putting someone's business on a group text where one of the people on a group text has to find 2 hours of shit to talk about every week and is going to discuss this for a considerable audience? Now, I'm doing it on the Patreon now. I'm not going to do it on the main episode, although I also might. They're putting his business out there on this fucking text chain. I hate the group, dude. I'm in no group text. You're in some of them. When you're young, you're in group texts.
Mm-hmm.
When you get in your 30s, man, a group text fills me with anxiety and dread.
Mm-hmm.
Forget my family group text, which I literally got a new phone to get out of.
Yeah.
Any group text, 3 or 4 friends, I don't care who. Whitney Cummings puts me in group text with all these people. Eli Roth, who I think is great. But I'm like in a group text. I don't know who I'm responding to. I like one-on-one, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, you can't shit talk in a group text. You don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah, people screenshot. You can't.
Also, here's the other thing. When you're in a group text, somebody puts you in, and the person's not in your phone, you're like, all right, so I got this person who I know, and then this random number.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who the fuck that is. What if I want to say something foul? Something, There was a lesbian I was friends with. I used to smoke a lot of weed with, and she used to just say foul a lot. She used to be like, yo, that was foul. That's a real black lesbian word, foul.
In response to what?
Anything.
Really?
I would say something. She'd go, yo, that's foul. But she'd go, that's true, though. And then she'd go, that's true, though. So I was like, did I offend her or not? She'd be, yo, that's foul. That's true, though. I'm like, yeah. See, when you're a drug addict, you just do drugs with people you have very little in common with.
Mm-hmm.
So we would just go to her house, and I would sit in the backyard, and we'd smoke with her. Betsy was her name.
Wow.
Yeah, that's foul. That's true, though. We just smoke blunts, sitting in her backyard, barely speaking. I would say some shit. Like, I'd try to be funny. My other fat friend was there, Shay. We'd sit there. They called us the two fat boys, the crack house we hung out in.
Mm-hmm.
We hung out with this guy, Hector. He's like, they'd be like, who's coming over? We want to know everyone here tonight. We don't want any problems. He's like, it's me, Sonia, Betsy, and the two fat boys. So we're like 8th graders. And they're like, all right. And they would call us boys. Like, they would open the door and be like, hello, boys. Mm-hmm. And we'd be like, hello. We'd just sit on a couch and do drugs. The two fat boys, me and Sonia. That is it. Just them. They'd be like, okay, well, that seems like a realistic amount of people. Let's find this group text because, I was horrified. Listen to this. Ready? When the Louisiana tourist industry dried up from 2 hurricanes and COVID, plus the end of his unemployment in July, Blank has hit some exceptionally hard times. If anyone was thinking of a gift for the holidays, a few dollars might be a thought. I'm sure $20 would be helpful if you can spare it. He is set up on Venmo, and you can deposit money to his debit card. If anyone is interested, his name is Blank, or using his email, blank at blank. The app can be downloaded from the App Store, and you can pay your bank, credit card, or debit card. It's like, hey, give your son money.
Right.
Dude, give your son money. And by the way, I'll give the guy money. I have no problem giving him money. I just feel like this is the craziest thing to do, to just put somebody's business on a fucking text chain. I don't know. By the way, there's 7 people on this. I have no idea who the fuck they are. I have no idea who the fuck. My retard father. Listen to this. My dad, doesn't know what a text thread is.
Yeah.
So my dad has no idea what's going on. Okay? Listen to what he was saying. My father just moved into a new house. This is my father's response to Blank is in trouble and needs $20. They're basically hey, anything you can do. You have $1, send it to him. He's fucked. Here's my father's response to this, right? The move is going well. So far, so good. Thank you for watching the dogs. We'll have new pictures of the house soon. Is he out of his mind?
He's out of his mind.
Is he out of his mind? By the way, no response to that. No one responded. People were probably so horrified, nobody responded.
So those are the only 2 texts.
Those are the only 2 texts. It's this guy's fucked and needs money immediately. And then my father goes, we'll have new pictures of the house soon. The move is going well. Did he think it was a general? I think he thought it was a general family text. I think he thought it was a general family text where he's like, hey, okay, he's fucked, but also we moved and we're going to give everyone photos soon. I think he thought I think he thought everyone was going to chime in with news. Hey, everyone's safe and well here. Did he think it was a general, let's check up on everyone in the family? Let's call this guy Carl. That's not his name, but hey, Carl is fucked. And then everyone's supposed to chime in and go, we're doing good. My dad's literally the move's going well. So far, so good. We'll have pictures of the house soon. The guy's cooked.
He doesn't listen, so that means he doesn't even read texts.
He has no idea what's happening.
He just saw the
then
family
he starts
was
talking.
to
Then he
him.
goes like this. The only other text, he thanks his stepdaughter for watching his dogs. He goes, Jessica, thank you for watching Rue and Freddie, his dogs. He goes, Jessica, thank you for watching Rue and Freddie. He doesn't know what's going on. They're like, Carl died of COVID. My dad's like, the move's going well. Thank you for watching the dogs. I've had a lobotomy. He's had a lobotomy.
Yeah.
I feel like shit. I'm gonna Venmo the guy $100. I feel fucking horrible.
Mhm.
I would just hate to have somebody's business out there like that, especially because they could just give him money quietly.
Right.
Dude, this is what I mean about the individual. I have no problem helping anybody, especially somebody I know. Text me privately and say, hey, this guy's had some hard times. We're trying to get everyone in the family to give him something over Venmo. I'm going to do it right now because I have no problem helping the dude. But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, man, I also don't know that. Here's the thing with Venmo. You need the last 4 digits of his phone number.
Oh, yeah. It's
You
like
need the
what they
last
do
4
with
digits
Uber.
of his number.
Yeah.
I should text that. Should I add that to the thread?
Yeah.
I should go, hey, in order to send to him on Venmo, I need the last 4 digits of his phone number. I should send it. What if I send him 10 grand? I'm not going to do it, but just to be like a big,
Yeah, just to be a big shot.
just to be a big shot. By the way, his family, his parents own like a house that's well over $1 million. They could easily just take a line of credit for $50,000 where they pay like $10 a month on and just give it to him.
Right.
But I'm going to say, hey, in order to send him on Venmo, I need the last 4 digits of his cell phone. Dude, what if I send him $100 and he requests $5,000? What if he requests $500?
Yeah.
What if I send them 20? I mean, they said even if you send them 20, it's like, dude, 20 doesn't help anybody.
Right.
They go, send him 20. I send him 20. He dislikes the payment and he comments, what the fuck is this? I don't know this guy, but I probably like him. Like he's smoking weed and leading tours in New Orleans. That's the type of guy I like. I don't like anyone else in that family. Not that much. I like this guy. I feel bad for him. Just don't put someone's business like that in the group chat.
No.
There's no reason for that, especially with my idiot father. He's gonna put pictures of the dogs in that soon. They're gonna go, hey, Carl's fucked and has nothing. He needs anything that anyone has. And my father's gonna go, here's a picture of his Shih Tzu. Here's a picture of my dog Rue. I bet his wife reamed him out. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing in the group chat telling everyone our new house is going well? Okay, the name of the person in the group chat, I'm going to be very honest. The name of this guy I've never met in my family in the group chat is Alex Jones. Okay? So
He's falling on tough times.
he's falling on tough times. What if I add Alex Jones to the group chat? Should I say I've added my friend Alex to the group chat? Should I just start doing that? Like, if I'm in a family group chat that I don't want to be in, should I just add Alex Jones to it?
That'd be great.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's good to speak to you. I feel bad that this man has fallen on hard times, but this is what happens when the globalists have mounted a takeover. There would be such a horror. Like, there would be such an outpouring of rage at me. It would be legendary, though. The little kids would think it's legendary, like the little cousins. They like me, the little kids. Like one of them, and I've told this story before, but hey, guys, sometimes you repeat a good one. They gave him this kid, he's like a big beefcake. Like, he's not even in shape. He's just like kind of a big, fat, like sturdy kid he's becoming a cop. They gave him like a nightstick for Christmas. And he walked around the house like waving it around. He's like, yeah, I'm going to bust people's heads. I'm like, is this really the best way to train the new police force? Like last year, he's walking around with a nightstick, and he's like, yeah. And his father's like, yeah, that's how you get him. He goes, I bet you bust a few heads with that. I'm like, Christ almighty, His father goes, I'll bet you bust a few heads with that. I'm like, I don't know if you can bring your own nightstick into the police force. I'm breathing okay. I'm doing my breathing. I feel fine breathing. It's a burp. Should we get a blood those oxygen monitors you put on your finger? I should probably get that.
Oh, yeah. Is that important?
I don't know. I think so. I may have you run and get that after this.
Like at CVS?
Correct. If they have any left. They might not. Dude, we tried to get COVID tests tonight. We couldn't even get them. We got to get them tomorrow. And we can't even get them where I live. We got to go down to West Hollywood, literally, and pretend to live at my friend Michelle's house.
Yeah, so we'll just stand outside.
We'll just stand outside.
Yeah.
and get the COVID test. Should we celebrate if they're negative?
Yeah.
Maybe go to Beverly Hills Hotel, get club sandwiches, eat them in the car.
Those are good.
None of my celebrations are even good. You know, it's like It's like the TikTok generation of kids when those kids that are making real money. They're like, dude, we're gonna have ragers, we're gonna have parties, and my thing is like, well, we get a club, we get a club with the sun-dried tomato mayonnaise. Yeah. We'll eat in the car.
Yeah, it costs $100.
Yeah, it's a $100 club. It's way too much money. Dude, takeout is way too much money.
So much.
But you got to tip because fucking the restaurant workers are fucked. I get it. You got to tip. You got me a lot of soups.
Yep.
I was on the phone with Rogan today. Rogan's like, yeah, my manager loves you, man. He's like, you should call them. They're expecting your call. I called. No one responds. Like, yeah, I'm sure they love me. Like, Ben loves me. He's getting me soup. Your manager, I'm sure, likes me.
Right.
Passing familiarity with me. Doesn't love me. I called him, like, hey, what's going on? She's like, hey, how are you? Like, this was later. She called me back, like, 8 hours later. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I got to get tested for COVID tomorrow. I got a little cold. She's like, my sister had it. She's fine. You'll be fine. I'm like, thank you. Thank you kindly. But what scares me is, like, my friend Michelle's like, oh, it started, like, allergies with us, and then it got worse. But it's like, yeah, but maybe not. She's older, you know? Mm-hmm. And she's dating Kevin Farley, who is overweight. He's fatter than me. And older, you know? And the most talented member of that family. What, am I not supposed to say that? I think people know that, right? He was the funny one. Yeah, I think I wake up tomorrow, I'll get a good sleep tonight. Can you mount the TV tonight?
I'll go to Best Buy and get the TV mounts.
Yeah.
Get the Best Buy guy to come over.
No.
Well, we don't have the tools for it.
It's 7:00.
They close at 8. I'll be able to get there.
Yeah.
Schedule an appointment for possibly tomorrow.
For them to do it tomorrow? Okay. You don't know how to mount a TV? I don't know how to do it either.
I've done like the ones for like 40-inch TVs, but not for 65.
This is 65, yeah. Remember we went into Best Buy? That guy tried to sell us like a $4,000 TV?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, buddy, fuck off. He's like, if it was me, if you're a gamer, he's like, are you a gamer? I'm like, nope. He's like, this is the best gaming TV.
Yeah.
I'm like,
he goes, well, you guys watch a lot of TV, like Netflix. And we're like, no.
Not really.
We just watch YouTube.
I watch a lot of Live Leak videos of people getting beheaded. Is Live Leak even still a thing? Remember that?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're hoping I get a clean bill of health tomorrow, and they say, hey, man, no SARS-CoV-2. Mm-hmm. I'd take vitamin D, C. I'd take vitamin V. Do you know what vitamin V is? Mm-mm. It's a fucking great vitamin. It's spelled Vicodin. Vicodin. Mm-hmm. No. I'm hoping everything's okay. Some shrieking thing in the woods just yelled. It's probably Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande is getting engaged. Who gives a shit? She's getting engaged to a guy named, I think, Dalton Gomez.
His name is Dalton Gomez.
Dalton Gomez. So, dude, I thought of tweeting. No one gets jokes, right? So I didn't want to tweet this. Here's what I was going to tweet. Ben, ready?
Yeah.
I was going to tweet, good, let them stay with their own. Is there anything funnier than that, by the way?
That's great.
I'm imagining like an old Italian guy at a barbershop, like quote tweeting like Ariana Grande engaged to Dalton Gomez, and I just tweet like, good, let those people stay with their own. I mean, just funny.
That's great.
But yeah, so we'll update everyone tomorrow about the live stream. Or you guys are the only ones who know about the live stream. So what's going to happen is if I test positive for COVID, there will be no live stream. Mm-hmm. And it'll just be like it never happened. But if I don't, which I imagine I won't, then I will, we will put tickets on sale tomorrow. And it'll be a New Year's live stream. And it'll be, when will it be, Ben?
It should be at, I think it was 9 p.m. Let me check. Pacific Standard Time. Let me double check what we decided on. Find that ticket link. So it's supposed to start at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah, so that'll be 10 p.m. East Coast, right?
Right.
So it'll be 3 hours. We'll do an hour after the ball drops too. 3-hour live stream on New Year's. If you're not doing anything, me, Ray, and our special mystery guest, who'll be on for probably an hour or something. And then just me and Ray riffing and going crazy, playing a lot of clips of things. We're going to find all these old diet commercials from the 90s that we talk about all the time, like old fast food commercials. Just really try to chart the course of decay in this country. Really try to draw a line between the decay here, you know? But, all right, we're gonna go. I got to go. Ben's going to go get a blood oxygen reader that I can put on my finger, you know? You can't even read about COVID because it's like, I'm like, I still have my smell. I have everything. People are like, yeah, but that's the real bad one.
Yeah.
You're like, what? Like, the one with no symptoms is the one where you just die. Like, wait, what? They're like, that's the rough one. Okay, so I have no symptoms. Yeah, that's the one where you die. You're like, oh, okay. Well, that's... I still have my smell. I'm smelling a beautiful, fiery, woodsy area. I think it was too many ciggies. And now I just smoked my last one, like, too many cigs. And that was a problem. But I feel fine now. Like, I feel like I have energy. I mean, I'm just kind of sitting on a couch talking. So that's maybe a false sense of... But I feel like I have energy. Now, what are you going to do with this microphone that I've talked to you?
Well, it's not going to rain tomorrow, so I'm planning just to leave it outside.
Wow.
For probably 24 hours and then disinfect it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. You're looking at me like I'm a vector of disease. You've never looked at me like this before. You're looking at me like I'm like, it's so weird, man. Your closest friends now look at you like you're just a vector of disease.
Yep.
Ben is looking at me right now like people look at someone in a horror movie that they don't quite know if they've turned into a zombie yet. That's how Ben's looking at me. Ben's like, has he been bit? Is he feral? That's how he's looking at me. He's looking at me like this guy could have gotten bit. He might be feral. What a weird look. I see it in your little face. What an odd look. Because Ben's wife's like, you're going to go there. You're going to get COVID. That fat fuck who's done nothing but abuse you. Katie, I have to do it. I have to do it until we can finally kill him. We should kill him. Katie, but how are we going to do it and not get caught? I'm watching these different documentaries and true crime stories. I'll figure it out. All right. It's a little phlegm. It's a little mucus, little phlegm. But that's not really COVID. COVID's a dry cough.
So Michelle said hers started as allergies? Like just
They
runny
say
nose?
that. I don't know that those two know what they're started as, but they're started as, I think a lot of people, it starts like, oh, do I have a cold? And then they're like, uh-oh.
Right.
You know? So you don't know. But I'm really taking a lot of vitamins. You know? I'm 35. I've treated my body like a temple my entire life. I'm an athlete. I'm a triathlete. I'm a swimmer. I'm a runner. I bike. I don't smoke, drink. I don't eat carbohydrates. I have no inflammation in my body. I have a 10-inch penis. I have dreadlocks. I'm non-binary. I'm black. I'm Asian. I'm a woman. I have O-negative blood. I have every blood type in my body. I have the antibodies. I have the T-cell immunity. I'm positive and negative. I'm both a man and a woman. Do you smell that? Is that burning you smell?
Yeah, it smells like barbecue.
Yeah. Okay, good. Oh, that's your stroke check. Quick stroke check. You know?
It smells like ribs.
It smells like something. But I have all those things going for me. You know? I'm stardust. I am carbon. Billion-year-old carbon. And I've got to get myself back to the garden. Back to the garden. Should I send that guy 100 or tell him to go fuck himself? No, I'm going to send the money, but let's see if they texted me back yet. Nope. I'm like, hey, in order to send him on Venmo, I need the last 4 digits of his cell phone. I should say I need his social and then sell his identity. What I should do is say, can I get his social security number? And then just sell his identity on the dark web. I won't do that, but that'll be the end of group text in that family, huh? They'd be like, the father starts uploading pictures of his dogs and talking about his new house move, and the son steals the guy's identity and puts it on the dark web. We're never doing another group text again with this fucking family. All right, folks. Pray for me. Pray for the show. Pray for everybody. Pray for Vic Berger and his family. I love them dearly, even though they don't love me. But just like Christ, what did Christ say?
Forgive them, for they do not know what they do.
Yes, and turn the other cheek and forgive them. Do you hear something?
No, I have headphones on.
There's like a guy grunting.
I wonder if it's a... Huh.
You wonder if it's what?
I was going to say, is it like livestock? Is it a horse?
I don't think so.
I didn't hear it, so... What did it sound like? A guy
You were about
grunting?
to say "buh." You were about to say, "I wonder if it's a." Were you going to say, "You wonder if it's a black person"?
No, I was going to say, I wonder if it was a pig, like a wild feral pig.
What's wrong with you? I mean, what do you mean feral pig?
Like a feral hog.
That's why you're looking at me like I'm a feral hog. No, I don't think it's a feral hog. I don't think there are feral hogs in this area. I've never seen or heard about one. Ben's like, I wonder if it's a satanic pedophile cult. I do hear a lot of commotion. It's starting to get colder out now. You know? All right, well, the people aren't enjoying us. Listen for the home invasion. We'll update everybody on the status of the live stream tomorrow. Thank you again. Is this the last Patreon before the new year?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll put out another one on the
we give a
29th.
nice speech on the regular episode, too, about, like, thanks for all the support and thanks for helping us build the show and, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But we do appreciate it. And, now I'm going to go have soup. Good night.